Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Bob Phibbs, the retail doc. Thanks for joining me today, December the 20th, the last Sunday before Christmas. How exciting! I am thrilled to have you join me here on the street of, I think I'm somewhere in the Netherlands with my virtual background, but I wanted to choose something a little different today to acknowledge that we're in the home stretch. And I'm excited that you are taking some time out to talk to me today. It's always best if you can go through and give me a little bit of information where you're from. So you can let me know the name of your store. You can let me know the city you're joining me from. You can let me know what you sell, any number of ways just to be able to say, hey, we're here. So I would love to see that. Good morning, Joanne. Glad that you're here first today. There's a little delay in what I'm seeing on my broadcast this morning. So if I seem a little distracted, it's because there's about 1 minute delay, so it's kind of a big deal. There's John. Hey, glad you're here from Huntsville. And again, just jump in and join me. So I want you all, as you're sitting there, to repeat after me. It's too late to ship for Christmas. It's too late to sell anything that ships for Christmas. Repeat again. It's too late to ship for Christmas. There are several of your questions that are around shipping, and I've covered this now for the last several weeks and talking about, we know it's going to be a hell zone if you work for FedEx, the Postal Service, UPS, or anyone else that drives a delivery van or truck this holiday season. Why? Because online is up 30%. And people are ordering not just small little things, they're ordering furniture and things that normally would have driven to a store are being delivered. So I get it. We want to make the sale. I am with you. I am all about it. In fact, to show my experience, I used to have a post that said, stop the interstore transfers. That's because in the old days, we'd have to call somebody. Can you put it on the truck and we'll get it? Stop doing that. You are giving people false hope. The time has passed. You sell what you have in your store. Be excited you have it in store. If you're going to sell anything that ships, say it will not arrive before Christmas and may not arrive until after the new year. Are you okay with that? Yes. Good. Sign this or reply to me. Yes, I could wait until January. But too many small retailers, and again, the big boys have their own problems, and I talk to them separately. But for you, it is not the time to complain. Oh, they didn't pick it up. Oh, UPS. No one wants to hear that. Tell them what you can do. The reality is, come down to our store. I'll deliver it to your trunk. That's what our delivery is before Christmas. Repeat after me. It's too late to ship for Christmas. And I'm serious. I don't care where you're coming in from. And my goodness, we have people from all over the world, literally. Trinidad, Tobago, all kinds of places are here with me, from Georgia, all kinds of things, all kinds of selling, all kinds of things. But make no mistake, you have got to go through and get a handle on shipping. To get angry at your drivers is not helpful. To get angry at those services is not helpful. What you want to do, in fact, I encourage you, I did a post there down below, if you look, a few days ago, about when it absolutely positively has to be there, go to your local retailer. That used to be FedEx's model, when it absolutely positively has to be there on time. But make no mistake, with online up 30 and 40%, those shipping services are stretched to the max. They just can't do it. And so instead of giving people false hope, oh yeah, we could just ship it, just stop. I can't do it. Be realistic. They will be appreciative of you. Yes, you might lose some sales to the big boys, but you also at the same time saying, just because someone has it on their website doesn't mean you're going to get it. Doesn't mean they have it in stock. They might be drop shipping and they're going to have the same problems. Why not buy what we have now and you can add to it later? That's great. The other thing I wanted to go through, good morning, Robin. The other thing I wanted to go through and to realize is that there's a lot of people who are going to be shopping in January, particularly if you're in London, you're in some of the places have been locked down again, like California and other places. People are just going to wait until after the holidays or until the lockdown is over. So you better have something to be able to sell to them. And you also better have crew to be able to handle it. Because yes, there is hope around vaccines, but there is an awful lot of hospitals that are in trouble right now, and that's why we're being locked down. I don't want to get into the politics of it. I totally get it if I was you and being locked down 2 weeks before Christmas, a week before Christmas, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So let's just make the best of what we can do with it and try to do it. Now, that brings me to another part of the news, which is how many restaurants are expected to close in January, something like 30 or 40%, because they simply can't. If you're in a location which has been put on lockdown and they can only do takeout, they can't survive that way. So I encourage you, you could be doing this now, but think about, if nothing else, then in January, go to your local dine-in restaurant. And I thought about doing this myself. I'm going to do it with a dine-in restaurant here in my little town, but go through and give them $100 and say, what would $100 do to provide lunch for my local grocery store, and see if they are willing to deliver it, and talk to the local manager. And yeah, you could do it for all kinds. You could do it for hospital admissions people. That would be great too. And a lot of people do their favorite charity. That's not what I'm after, is charity. I am after supporting businesses that need the business. And there are a lot of reasons why restaurants are in trouble, and there's a lot of reasons why we should be helping them. So I encourage you, $100 for a grocery store, and then gift a grocery store or somebody where they have been heroes to be able to stay open for us. If nothing else, even if you're already reopened and you're not planning to be locked down, being appreciative for what they did last spring would be helpful. When America used 4 months of groceries in 2 weeks, the numbers are staggering what they were able to put together for the rest of us. So again, going back to delays, now is the time I would be doing social posts saying it's too late to ship. It's too late to ship, and talk about shipping delays. I'd probably do a live video and say, you know, we are doing curbside, or you can come in on limited occupancy. I know those of you in Washington, some other states, you're locked down to like 25% of usual. Tell them what you can do. And then I would email everybody on your list that the delays are unexpected. We are doing everything we can, and make sure if you have any orders that are outstanding that your customers have their own tracking. You do not want them calling you and beating you up that something isn't arriving. And be honest, we have no control over this. If we put it out there, we will. And understand that you will probably have people that want their money back because they didn't get it on time. Understand that. But make sure you are proactive. That's why if it was my store and I had something that was supposed to be drop shipped from someone as a gift, I would go through and contact the person that bought it and say, hey, I don't know if it has been, I'm able to get confirmation of tracking. Here's a picture of what it is. You could forward this to your giftee, and at least they would have that to be able to, you know, put in a box and share with the child on Christmas. Whatever you can do to be proactive is going to make life easier for you. You can't just duck your head and then blame it on FedEx or Postal Service. They bought it from you. They want answers from you, and give them the tools to monitor it themselves. And then my other thing for you is to also make sure that you thank your family for putting up with all of the stress that you go through at this time of the year, and how you may not really be available when they're watching their favorite holiday movie or something else. You are busy trying to take care of the business. So make sure you remember that your family is here doing this along with you. And then finally, to let you know that I'm going to be doing a free webinar on Thursday, January 7th at 11 a.m. The link is in my description, and you can find out more there. But I'm going to be talking about the 7 mistakes retailers make that you should get rid of have a great 2021, and the 4 actions you should be taking now in the new recovery, the retail renaissance that we are expecting. So look for that as well. And you have a lot of questions for me, which is a lot more than I thought. So let's get to that. I didn't expect to have quite so many. I thought, oh, well, it'll be a quiet day. No, you guys surprised me, and I appreciate that. All right. LinkedIn user, hope you will do a session on recruiting retail, the 2,500 population to really small towns. Their surrounding trade area may double that, more or less. So LinkedIn user, you just send an email to bob@retaildoc and we can discuss that. How's that? Hey, glad you're joining me, Vishal from India, and that's great. Cheryl, I think you're exactly right. It's been a rough year all around. I think most people do understand this, but you know, there are people who don't, and I want to make sure that we are being able to accommodate everybody. We're all over anxious. We're hyped up. We've eaten too many carbs and we're over caffeinated. So there you go. Let's get to your questions because they're quite diverse and interesting. Sarah, in addition to social media, in-store window signage, and email lists, how do you get the word out to your community and customer base you've released a new improved website? I feel like I'm missing a few opportunities to share the news about the new site. Sarah, okay, I come on to you and I go, hey, I've got a new shirt. What do you expect them to say to you? Hey, we've got a new website. And it's not much different than coming up with a press release. Unless it's newsworthy, unless I'm going to get something out of it, why would I learn that, right? Hey, look at this new unique recipe I have for tacos made from kale, snow, and vegetables. Great. Hey, look at this recipe I've got for kale, snow, and vegetables. It's lighting up the internet, and you can easily make it at home in 3 minutes. Okay, I'm there. So understand that you have to come up with a compelling reason for us to do it. And the best thing, the reason you do a new site is not because of the PR value on that side. It's because it increases your SEO, and you should have tools to be able to capture those leads through CTAs and other things. So I hope that helps. But again, know your reason why anyone would take interest in this. If you can't answer it, then you've got some work to do. Kelly, what's been your most enjoyable holiday shopping experience this year? Well, Kelly, I've had a very interesting holiday. I ended up having a couple of melanomas removed from my back, so I've been kind of recovering for the last 4 weeks, and I'm not supposed to be out with my age, but I will tell you that my buying an alien blog is one of my favorites, and the link is in this description, so you can read that. So I hope that helps. Roberta, a formerly beloved small manufacturer of ours, recently held and posted on Facebook an event bringing together a few dozen of their best fans, all unmasked and partying in a public restaurant. I refrain from commenting, but I'm extremely vexed by the behavior. Should I say something to business owners or simply refrain from ever purchasing their beautiful products again? Boy, Roberta, this is a really interesting question. I had a friend of mine tell me a story about that they had contacted a service provider to come out to their house. The individual presented sounded like the perfect solution for them, and for some reason, my friend went online and they saw that this individual had posted the kind of things that they posted didn't agree with their worldview and their politics, and they wanted to contact the company that this person worked for, and it's kind of that same thing. And Roberta, I don't think there's an easy answer. You know, in your case, if you're telling them that you're not going to purchase them because of their actions, I think we're much better to say it's better to have a dialogue about this and why this matters to you. So I would suggest if it brought you to the place that you wanted to ask me about it, I think a simple conversation with them is fine. But don't start off with, I'll never purchase from you again, because then at that point you're like this. I had a employee one time for our coffee franchise, and he quit, and then he wanted to meet with us, and so he met with 4 of us, but he sent this 3-page document about everything that should have been changed. And after like 10 minutes, I was just like, dude, but you already quit. The time to have shared this would have been beforehand. So the same thing, give them a chance to say something and realize that we're trying to make the best we can. I don't think anybody has the right answers of what anyone should do, myself included. I'm just giving you my opinion. And I think it obviously bothered you. And I find the same thing with things that I discover, but every one of them is different, right? Hey, Chris. So Chris says, yes, many people support our restaurant's Hoagies for Healthcare program. Their first shutdown literally helped keep ours open. That's great, Chris. And I appreciate that. My concern right now is the problem we're having is the dine-in restaurants, that they're the ones who are losing the business. If you're already set up, you're a Subway, you're a takeout business. Yeah, it might be some demand is down because of office workers. My concern is the dine-in restaurants, because they make their money on beer and wine and the extras that people have who linger at dining, that just taking out is not going to be enough to keep it in business. So again, thanks for doing that. And I want everybody to be aware that we are trying to go through and help everybody survive through this. All right, so Andrew, in parts of the UK, we're going to strict lockdown. Yeah, London is pretty much separated from the rest of the UK. I saw for 6 weeks with click and collect not with click and collect only allowed for non-essential retailer. I'm thinking of pivoting a delivery service. Any suggestions on logistical considerations I should be making? Our average order currently is 60 pounds. That's about $75 US. We'll be on site to offer phone support and fulfill mail order, but other than that, store is closed for 6 weeks. I'm thinking I might offer a competitive advantage over online, but I have to weigh the cost. Andrew, one of the biggest ones is, are you going to work for free? Because that's the thing. So many business owners are like, oh, I'll just drop it off. Well, if it's a one-off, I think that's fine. But at some point, you've got to say, why am I doing this? And what am I paying myself? So you're right, obvious costs. And then the other thing is to look at your insurance and all the other things that go along with it. Everyone is trying to solve that last mile. Amazon, Walmart, that's why everybody is trying to get people to deliver to their trunk. That's it in the short term. I wish I had a great example, but just be careful that you are not working for free. That would be my point to you. And again, if you want to just jump in, I would love to have your questions while I'm live. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc, and you can find out more about me at retaildoc.com. Robert says, what to do about the huge delays in UPS, U.S. Postal Service packages, some taking weeks, especially in areas slammed by mail ballots, customers getting angry and unreasonable. So, Robert, I think I've already answered that, but to think this is about mail-in ballots, I think is pretty, I don't think that has bearing. The reality is online retail is up 30%. Oh, and by the way, if you think this is going to get easier, they're expecting returns this year to be at 30 or 40%. Think of all the work all those big companies are doing to get people to buy online. And now think of 30 to 40% of that going back, and they're having to credit it. So for you too, if that's the case, then start thinking about what are you going to do if they wore the snow boots out in the snow and they're worn when they return them, or the dress or the toys or any number of things. So prepare now. That's always the best way. John says, what do you think would be fair commission selling eyeglasses? An example on a $500 sale or $1,000. Is it 2 or 3% commission? So there's always two considerations on thinking about commissions. One is what is profitable and what's enough to move the needle of sales. So, there's nothing worse for me than we come up with a commission program and employees are getting a bonus or commission just because they did their job. So think about an average guy, gal who works for you 30 hours a week. How much do they have to sell to justify their payroll right now? And if they sold 10% more of that, what would that bring you, and how much would you feel comfortable paying them? So then divide it accordingly, you'll have your answer. Yeah, I think it's easy to say we give them 2%, but honestly, is $10 going to really move the needle of sales if they only sell a couple of a week? So commissions and bonus programs are not the easiest thing to come up. Most people think that, oh, well, I just put that on it. Or, oh, I don't want to just give them anything. But if you really think about it and you understand strategically how it works, a lot of businesses find it really does move the sale. And particularly if you're doing it for the more expensive items, which is where they need it, not on everything. So I hope that helps. Ellie says, I bought a computer today for my son. The salesperson who seemed knowledgeable made no effort to build a connection with me, tried to sell me an extended warranty. I hate that. That is like the worst. My infamous story of Radio Shack on its dying days, I had to go in and get a new charger cable for my iPhone. And it was on my way somewhere, and I stopped in and I found it. The guy hadn't said anything. And when I brought it up to the counter, he goes, do you want to get an extended warranty on this? It's only $3. Like, dude, the cable's only $4. It was like, really? Anyway, I digress. Extended warranties and protection plans have been something I've thought about for a while for our products like strollers. We already offer post-purchase help anyway, so it would enhance, formalize, and monetize it. But it does feel like an opportunity to make some extra money, but also feels like an initiative that's designed to serve me more than my customer. That kind of why often feels like the wrong move. Wonder what you think, and if you know of an example where this is done well. So Ellie, first off, I love your site, and all of you who are wondering, oh, what does a great site look like? What does Bob think a good site looks like? You should check out mbeans.com. That's literally mbeans. It's short for magicbeans.com. Look at how they answer questions. You can even see Ellie's smiling face. He does a million YouTube videos. That's why he's a rock star. And that's not just because his sales are ex-customer, but because he gets it. He's thinking about the customer. And I think it is a great idea. I think what's needed is it has to be a price that's ridiculous. Like, I'd be an idiot not to take you up on it. And then understanding that the only way you're going to sell that is by peppering your presentation with it. So it's really up after you've done a store tour or you've gone through and you've been finding out what they're interested in, and then being able to just mention it along the way, so that the end of it is, oh, and by the way, I'd mentioned it earlier, and then it just feels natural. You're not going to feel like a phony. But remember, your ultimate goal is providing trust and security. And a lot of people, again, it's not going to be for everybody, but when you mention it, there's a lot of people that do find that really comforting. Yes, there's also people that will abuse that. So yeah, we get all of it. But I think you're right on that more businesses that can sell services are going to be able to be more successful because they're more profitable, because most people will not use that. That's why a lot of people sell gift cards, because in the early days, if I can convince you to give me, let's say $50 and put it on a gift card and you never use it, I get it. I keep that $50. The problem is a lot of states now have said, after 3 years, you have to give it back, or you have to have ways they can get it back and all of that. But the idea here is that overall, somehow you are going to provide more value to them with some kind of an add-on. And I think it's right on, and I would do it. And then I would probably follow up every one of your purchases on your more expensive strollers with saying, here's a little bit more information, maybe one of your great videos with a teaser. And then they have up to 4 weeks after a purchase to get that. Just consider that. And the other reason you want that is because it's another layer of being able to find out who are my most involved customers and likely to purchase more things that are service related. So I think it's great all the way down the line. And you're a smart guy. You're going to figure it out with your wonderful team there. Heather, what do you do to keep up sales from the holidays into the new year? So first off, Heather, is to mine your data. If you're not getting everybody's email addresses, if you're not religiously following up and following who clicks my newsletters, who goes through and follows a promotion, who's buying from me at full price, then now is the time to be doing that. But I always say now is the time to be thinking about every 2 weeks, you've got to have something new to announce to your group. Now, in my case, I go through and I do a newsletter every Sunday night. Sometimes it's new items, sometimes it's new blogs, sometimes new products, sometimes new webinars, but it's something to give me a reason to reach out to you. And I think it's the same for you. You need an excuse to be able to do that. So some of us, we think of the obvious, right? We have a wonderful window that we change every 2 or 3 weeks. But with pandemics, that's not as powerful as it used to be. Although, shout out to Lifestyles of Saratoga, your windows are unbelievably spectacular this week. So consider in the first week of January, you're going to do a post, an email, a blog, a newsletter, all around what to do with an old X by buying a Y, or maybe not even buying a Y, but you've got an excuse to go out there and be able to talk to them. Ideally, it's something that is related to what you sell, but not just a 20% off, 50% off, that kind of thing. We are noticing that discounts just don't have as much zing as they used to. I hope that helps. Lori, I'm looking for morale boosters for our staff as we make the final holiday push. No chance or hand clapping, please. Lori, what's wrong with that? I was reading somebody's post in the New York Times last year and talked about this one chain store, and the manager had to stop and everybody give a cheer. And it's like, that's great the first time, but if it feels forced, it's not much of a cheer. It's like, yay, wonderful. Try to find something that's engaging them. I always try to say, ask somebody for your favorite gift purchase, ask them to give them a customer story, and keep them focused on these last few days. We give hope to people. Imagine somebody's face when they do it. Try to get them to light up inside with those and collect those stories. And each of you are going to be doing well. I always say buying free pizza is always a great thing, but certainly this week, just without even telling them, like, don't go out for lunch or don't bring your lunch, then we're going to have something special, or any number of things. Send them home with a dozen cookies, or anything that you can do to surprise and delight your crew. Means they'll look to surprise and delight your customers. And make no mistake, we are fully believing that after Christmas is going to be as busy as Christmas. So don't give up on that until you get to New Year's Eve, and then you can take a break. So I hope that helps. And also, you can certainly read my alien story in the description. I hope that's fun. Cheryl, Radio Track tried to sell me a warranty on a $5 power cord. See, the same thing I was saying there. That's great. Vasti says, what are great tools, training tools for commercial realtors? So Vasti, the number one thing that most salespeople can learn is what the product is. What they don't understand is how to develop a human connection. And I'm actually going to do a shameless plug for SalesRx, my online retail sales training program. It's salesrx.com, just like it sounds, where I teach you with 120 lessons how to engage a stranger, discover a shopper, and make the sale. I talk about the four personality styles. I talk about the difference between generations. I talk about a lot of things in the advanced training. And if you're serious about it, you should get it. And if not, the biggest training tool for sales is the life of hard knocks, where you go through it without learning, you bump into a lot of things, and you're like, I shouldn't do that again. I shouldn't do that again. And eventually you come up with a system that works for you, but it may not be the best, because a lot of people are caught in the asked and answered. Oh, what can you help you with? And they don't have the creativity to be able to inspire somebody to say, behold what is possible. Look at this new site, what we can do with that. And in fact, one of the things I'm talking about in my webinar, January 7th, again, you can register for free up there, is the power of real estate in 2021. So I hope you'll join me for that as well. Good morning, Bonnie from Atlanta. That's great. Oh, Cheryl, you so enjoy Sundays with Bob. Flatterer. That's great. Thank you very much. All right, I only have 2 more to go. So if you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate that. Claire, I would love to work out staff bonuses for targets. At this time, we run on a monthly target system. I want the targets to be achievable. I guess I would call that a goal, so you call it a target. Is it best to run a percentage on top of their monthly total hours as a bonus and then scale a system if they surpass the base target? I think, Claire, the number one thing is, people who are analytical personalities, we overthink it. And I would just say, don't overthink it. It really is the thought that counts. If you can afford to bonus them all $500, do it. If you want to make it an achievement based on how much they sell, I think it's really tough to make an equitable bonus system in the middle of a pandemic. And again, I don't know where you're located, but just being grateful and showing it is the best thing. And maybe you can't give them $500. Maybe all you can give them is a lottery ticket, a Starbucks card, a card with 3 paragraphs of why they're the best employee, and you're looking forward to a happy 2021. The amount and the item isn't as important as the sentiment and the authenticity and the genuineness. So consider that. All right. Oh, well, you're welcome, Stacy. A quick shout out about the magic of who else is on your list. It sounds like that's worked for you, Stacy. I guarantee you it works for everybody, but there's only so much we can do. Sometimes we are going through and we are trying to do everything. And a lot of times people watch my videos and, it sounds good, but it goes in one ear and out the other. Unless you take action on one thing that you heard me do today. Yeah, I don't know if I put on a great show. Here we are on the streets in the Netherlands. I have an awful lot to say because I've lived it. I've built a regional little startup coffee chain from nothing to 135. I took a group of Western wear stores from nothing to the #1 in the US. And I work with some of the biggest brands in the world on how do we open our hearts to another human being? How do we go through and make a connection? Because I really believe we can make the world a better place by the people working and shopping in retail. But it takes training, and it takes information. So my final plug today is for you to join me on Thursday, January 7th at 11 a.m. Eastern time, when I'm going to go through the 7 mistakes retailers make and how you can avoid them for 2021 and 4 actions you need to take right now. It'll be about 30 to 40 minutes. There'll be a Q&A where I'll answer all of your questions live. It doesn't cost you anything, but there are only 200 spaces open. The last one I did for Podium, we had over twice that trying to register. So I do hope that you'll go through, you'll register, and you'll be able to hear me more in depth with that. And of course, you can always tell your friends about that, because that's it. But make sure that you stay focused. You don't have the luxury of a negative thought right now. If you want to get caught in your chat boards with your other retailers, how it sucks to be you, and UPS is horrible, and FedEx is awful, and those damn customers, well, that's the Christmas you're going to have. But only you can change that, right? Only you change the attitude you've got about it. I'm grateful to have business. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to serve. I'm going to do everything I can to be transparent with shipping. I'm going to get everybody their tracking codes, and they're going to be able to do this. If you haven't been able to do that right now, then spend Sunday to do it, or stay up late tonight and do it. But remember, the customers who you got to over deliver to, not to sit yourself in and make yourself feel good because it sucks to be you. It's to understand we have never been challenged like before. You are a gladiator in this world. You are out there. Winter is your season. Spring is coming. You need to be focused. I am the one to do it. I have what they need. They want what I have. Let's go get it. With that in mind, I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Join me January the 7th and next week for my final Facebook Live of 2020. I hope you'll join me at 9 a.m. next Sunday. Until then, do good work. And remember, you are the one that determines your altitude. In hope, I am fearless. Thanks for joining me today.